Hello, and welcome to another installation of Up for Discussion with the Superhero Hub. I'm Sam.
And I'm Matt. And today
Holla!
we're discussing everything wrong with Batman v Superman.
I know you got some strong opinions on this. I think we both went into it with open minds. We saw it when it pretty much a day after it come out. Now, being big superhero fans, obviously me personally, I'm more of a fan of Superman. This one's more of a fan of Batman. So
Indeed.
each to their own. He's not right all of the time, sometimes he's wrong. This has been a big case of it, so what should we start with? What are your strong feelings about? Go.
I think this movie, we're talking about the theatrical cut right now, yeah? Was an absolute mess in the editing room. I've seen the extended edition, whatever the hell that's called. I
Extended
think
edition.
is that it's better. It's a marked improvement. I still think there are massive flaws in the movie. But
What?
my biggest complaint of all would be they've cut half an hour out of the movie that absolutely should have been in it.
And that is?
But more mainly the Superman stuff. Or I guess it's more Clark Kent in the extended cut. Yet you need that. You need that stuff. Superman dies at the end of this movie, and honest to God, I don't really care.
I think the problem that I have is that Superman don't have the charisma, and neither does Clark Kent. It's like Henry Cavill just comes off a bit wet, if you know what I mean. But my major problem, we'll get back to that, but one second, my major problem is that they kind of market it as Batman versus Superman. I would have preferred if they just called the film Dawn of Justice. See, it would have worked out better, because I mean Man of Steel, and then it just looks better in the box sets if it's Man of Steel, Dawn of Justice, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, as opposed to Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. I think they should have just called it Dawn of Justice.
I think it being Batman v Superman is fine. It just they got they clouded the issue by bringing in Lex Luthor and bringing in Doomsday and all that crap. Bruce Wayne should have gone after Superman because of what happened in Man of Steel. That's all the motivation he needed, especially the Bruce Wayne that's in this movie. I will say, I think the opener is great. The opener works perfectly.
Well, because it kind of intertwines the end of Man of Steel and the start of this.
And Bruce running into the cloud and saving that guy who comes back later, and the little girl. When he's holding that little girl and he looks up at that building, I buy it.
Yeah.
That's enough for me to think, okay, he needs to go there and beat the crap out of Superman. End of. That's fine. And then they cloud the issue with the Africa stuff, with Lex and everything else that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, but I think they needed that because obviously I think Batman's aware of, as much as Alfred pushed the issue, I think Batman Bruce Wayne was aware that, okay, I'll go up against this guy, but how am I actually going to do it? Because when Kryptonite wasn't introduced and it was him versus Superman, even with all those little gadgets and stuff like that, he was still getting smacked around. He wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes against Superman unless he had Kryptonite. So you had to have someone, you needed Lex Luthor to have acquired the Kryptonite in the first place.
Why does it need to be Lex? It can be anyone. Batman can find Kryptonite somewhere. It's Batman. It's not that difficult. And even if you want Lex in a movie, fine. But you don't need all that Africa stuff. That was pointless, especially in the theatrical cut, where it literally makes no sense.
I think that was kind of trying to sway public opinion as well, because all that was a ploy by Lex Luthor.
Right, I understand what it
to
was.
get Batman whipped up.
I understand its purpose. It just doesn't need to be in the movie, in my opinion. Also, in the theatrical cut, that doesn't make sense. In the extended edition, it does, because there's more stuff. You have that woman who's testifying at the trial.
It turns out to be lying, because she was bought up by Lex.
But you don't know that in the normal edition of the movie, if they cut that out.
I think that was a bit slow. I think they cut like integral stuff out. But I mean, again, that was like an issue. Like, the film would have been 3 hours long. So I mean, but what kind of stuff could you have cut? I mean, if you left that all in, the film's 3 hours long, and then you're like, right, we want a 2.5 hour film. What stuff could they have actually cut
That's
to
not an,
to
that's not an
accommodate?
excuse. If you know how long you want the movie to be, and
Mhm.
write a bloody script that's that long. Don't write a script that's 3 hours and say, "Oh no, we don't want a 3 hour movie," because then you balls yourself over, and that's what happened. We get a nonsensical film.
That's a very, very good point. I think, in terms of the plot as well, I think what would have been unnecessary, I think, was the kind of Batman's nightmare scenes. So I didn't really see the point of that, introducing the parademons at all,
No,
having
I'm
the.
still, I'm confused as well. I don't.
I mean, if
What
you,
what what part was the dream and what wasn't? You know, when he sees the flash afterwards,
yeah,
is that still a dream? Because he woke up, didn't he?
that's another thing I had a major issue with, because that's kind of through a spanner in the works, if you know what I mean, because now there's like, you got the Flash running from the future and giving him that message. So I think the Flash stuff was real, him coming from the future, but it's like, who is he talking about? Is he really? I mean, Superman's just got his stuff together and got the team all together, and then you got, at some point, Barry's going to be running back and saying, oh yeah, actually, whoever is probably Superman has turned against the world again. See, now is that going to be something to do with Justice League? Is Superman going to come back funny because he was dead? See, that's another thing I said about Justice League, about having Superman being captured by Darkseid and somehow turned, and then getting kind of sorted out a bit. Because Barry comes back and says, oh, Lois Lane's the key, so it's got to be something to do with Superman. So I mean, I think the scenes in the desert with the kryptonite, I think that was just like a manifestation of his paranoia about how powerful Superman was. I think that was literally paranoia, and then you got the Flash running through. But is Bruce Wayne just going to write that off and think, oh, that was just illusion, that didn't really happen? But then obviously, has he? See, another issue which was vague is that he must have watched the tapes from LexCorp, just like Wonder Woman did, so to know how to go and hunt them down. So is he going to go to Barry? Oh yeah, I got a vision of you running back, and you said blah blah blah, this Lois Lane's the key, Superman maybe can't be trusted. See, I think they should have cut that. They shouldn't have the Flash coming back. If they're gonna have a cameo, they should have just had it in the tapes, in the recording tapes, not anything else.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going with that. Hopefully, they don't have an evil Superman. Obviously, if they did, it wouldn't last very long. But I hope they don't. And you were talking about Cavill earlier. That's probably part of my issue, is that we've had 2 movies now with him as Superman, and I like Man of Steel. I think it's a good film, but they're not letting him be Superman.
He's coming off wooden.
Because I think
It just comes off like he's a bad actor.
maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but I'm not sure he is. I just think he's being written into a corner where they're not letting him be Superman. He's moping around, whining and never cracking a smile. He's not even, saving a cat from a tree or whatever crap he want. And in Man of Steel, I could accept that. I thought it was an origin story, and the point here is to work his way to being Superman.
Mm-hmm.
But now we've had another movie, a movie in which he is equally as miserable as Batman. You can't, I love Batman. Let's face it, he's a miserable character. That's fine. He's Batman. You don't need 2 of them being miserable. They're supposed to be 2 sides of a different coin.
Batman has like a big reason to be kind of disappointed, I guess. But what Superman's moping about because the people don't like him is like, shouldn't he be focusing on kind of the problem is that it's like, was he really? What was he working towards for the whole first part of the movie before obviously he comes up against Batman and Lex Luthor? It's like all the position he was writing was him just like kind of dwelling on everything because he didn't really have anything else to do. Because what was he doing? He wasn't going around saving anyone. It was just him literally just hanging about with Lois for the first start until there was like a fight. If they had him like doing other stuff trying to sway public opinion, because the only kind of thing he actually did to sway public opinion was arriving at the courthouse, but obviously that was a setup as well.
No, that entire scene kind of encapsulates the whole thing that for me right now is wrong with what they're doing with Superman. I'm not saying he should have been able to save the day. You know, Superman can't always save the day, but that image of him stood there in the fire being miserable, like, that's not Superman. What are you doing? You know, for man is still fine, but he's meant to build his way towards being like Christopher Reeve, being a guy who can run around and crack a smile. And now, if he is evil in the next movie, that's a third movie in which he's still miserable Superman. You're not getting people on his side. The public aren't going to like Superman if you keep shoving him down our faces as a miserable guy.
See now that's the problem there, because I mean at the end it was kind of absolved at the end of the film. Everyone was kind of back on his side again because they found out obviously the deception, so they were like, we love Superman again. So are the writers really going to bring him back in the next film as like evil just when he's finally kind of got his stuff, he's finally in a position where he can be a bit jolly, and then they're going to take that away from him again?
It should be the case now that the next Man of Steel movie, I think they've announced they're going to do another one, whether it's Superman or whatever they're going to call it.
I do believe that's true.
He should be happier, in theory. But yes, to your point, if he's gone on another murder spree again, then you're putting him back at square one, and you're not helping Henry Cavill. Exactly. You're writing him into a corner.
Yeah, but I think the kind of self-deprecating thing, I think that was kind of their attempt to make him come off a bit more human. But do you want a Superman who's... They could have done that with the fact he's been raised on Earth for however many years, as opposed to, he has to have everyone turn against him for him to show emotion. That's the thing, Superman don't really show emotion for how it's been portrayed so far.
Unless it's rage and anger, unless he's crying in anger because he just, killed Zod. Yeah.
I'm supposed to be a symbol of hope, but I'm just going to walk around with a puss on. Another thing as well, another issue that I feel is wrong with it, is how they kind of marketed Wonder Woman, how she was going to be a kind of big part of the film, and she was literally in it for like 10 minutes. It's like, I think I'm looking at it as, okay, so they cut her out, but I think they kind of, because it couldn't really be Superman and Batman in the final fight against Doomsday, but I think that would have worked better for their kind of relationship. Just like, I think it would have meant more to them pushing through against Doomsday if it was just the two of them. But I mean, why have like Wonder Woman plastered everywhere and she's a big bit when it was just literally like pretty much cameo? Because all she was doing, I think they were just kind of using it to set up Wonder Woman. You know what I mean?
I think that's entirely right. They wanted to, before they bring the rest of the JLA in, they wanted to have the Trinity. I think she was in it enough.
Like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't think the last fight thing was good, but I mean they could have just like completely like not bothered with her and just have her pop up in the final fight against Doomsday. So I don't think for what they marketed it, she was not in it enough, not nearly enough. I think they could have just, because obviously with the film coming, I think the problem is, because obviously the Wonder Woman film wasn't that far off, I figured they thought, right, let's pop her in, so then that's going to generate interest for Wonder Woman, but then it's only ever going to be like 5 minutes long because the film's coming out. So I think they screwed themselves over with that as well.
For me, the last thing this movie needed was more. For me, it's enough. I thought she was alright. I thought it would do. I'll check her out on Wonder Woman. The movie looks pretty good from the trailer I've seen, so I was happy with it.
I think what it needed more of was explanation.
What of her?
If they not of like the whole thing,
Oh,
if
well,
they didn't cut the bits out where it explained everyone's motives, then it would have allowed space. You cut out the kind of nonsense parts, leaving the bit that explains it all. So you just have to like a 2-minute scene of where it explains everyone's motives, and then let the events kind of roll on, and then it could have made more space to evolve Wonder Woman's introduction, because you didn't need Batman to be explained again, because everyone knows, you know what I mean. It's like Wonder Woman's like less touched on, but obviously pretty much the next Wonder Woman film is going to be an origin film, so
I imagine, it will be in World War One or something, isn't it? One of how'd you about Alfred? Jeremy Irons.
I thought it was okay.
I like pretty good as well.
I like the fact it was very technical, because the problem with I think Alfred in Batman Begin, the Batman Nolan trilogy, is like literally all he did is kind of walk around and kind of bollock Bruce Wayne, but as opposed to in this one is actually like doing stuff. He's seeing rewiring. I think it is kind of like how Alfred is in Gotham, the TV series, is like a lot more hands-on. You know what I mean? I think that's good, because you got to look at it as he doesn't really have a sidekick. I don't think they really, because with the Batman films so far away, I feel like, okay, don't like explain his origin story. Everyone knows that, but at least kind of explain what's going on in his life, because there was only like vague references to like being in Gotham for 20 years, how many good people are left. So obviously his face betrayals. You don't know if there's a Robin knocking about. You don't know if there's like any other like major plot points. You just kind of got to assume that in the 20 years there's obviously met Catwoman, there's maybe been a Robin.
Well, there has been.
There has been a Robin, but you kind of is Nightwing about? I mean, because if you've got the dead Robin, Jason Todd, you've got to assume that Dick Grayson's knocking about somewhere. I mean, a little 30-second Easter egg reference here or there to like whether Nightwing's about like, oh, do you think, because with the unsurmountable odds against Batman fighting Superman, you'd expect, I don't know, because Alfred was kind of against it in the first place, but if Alfred was like, should I call in Nightwing for assistance or something like that, because it's going on how it's going to be suicide, do you think maybe you should have been like, oh yeah, let's call Nightwing in to kind of even the odds?
I don't know, maybe not. The thing is, I would like to first stick to the comic books, but we still don't know if the dead Robin is Jason Todd. Maybe it was Dick Grayson. You know, maybe there'll never be another Robin. So, I would say save it for Batman. I think we got enough of him in the movie.
I think that's a bit far away though. But I mean, in terms of little references here and there to build character, I think there was a necessary character backstory for Batman, as opposed to like, I mean, you said you liked the start of the film. Would you have preferred it's literally started in Metropolis, or did you feel like it needed the like 2-minute intro of his parents getting killed again?
Okay, do I think we need it? No. But, I mean, if you're going to do it, just do it in the credits. You know what I mean? That's alright. It's like, you know, remember The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton?
Yeah.
Where they covered his origin in the credits as well. If you have to do it that way. So, I don't know, that's fine.
I don't feel like they had to do it. Especially with I think another bit, I think what they kind of messed up was as well, I think they should have reshaped it, where Lex Luthor should have just released Doomsday on both of them. What he should have done is he should have had Batman and Superman in the same place fighting, and while they're fighting and distracted, then Lex Luthor should have released Doomsday, and then that would have completely negated that, right, I've got you with my kryptonite spear to your neck. Oh, Martha, what?
Oh,
What? What about Martha? Martha, what? That's my mother. That's his mother. Oh, okay, then just let me put this spear down. See, they could have negated that because that was pointless. Is that really what's going to stop them fighting? I mean, of all the things that could stop them fighting, I mean, they could have had like a real friendship forged in battle against Doomsday, which I kind of guess they did, but they could have had it better and scripted it better if they did it like that instead of just having Superman defeating him just say Martha. I think that was highly ridiculed and kind of stupid. It was like of all the things you could get them to bond over and get them to stop fighting, you'd think it would be something better than that.
Yeah, that scene was entirely stupid. They should have, if they're going to bond over anything to do with their parents, and obviously you would not do that scene that way, then it should be that the fact that they're both orphans.
Yeah.
Not, yeah. I don't know anyone who likes the Martha scene. I think it was poorly handled, and it will be infamous now from that point on. Also, that bloody spear was something like Superman saves Lois Lane.
Yeah.
That's part of his character. That's fine. He does it 3 times. 3 times in this movie. That's way too much.
So I figure if they're gonna champion smart intellectual, because I mean the whole point of Lois Lane being a journalist is she's very perceptive, you know what I mean. So for her to continually get herself in situations,
Right, 3 times I don't mind him saving her once. That's all right.
yeah,
But 3 times he saves her the first time at the beginning of the movie in Africa.
yeah,
He saves her when Lex pushes her off the skyscraper, whatever building they're on.
LexCorp Tower.
Right. But the third one, that's where I really lost it. Because to my memory, I haven't seen the movie in a while, so correct if I'm wrong. I think she's the one that throws the spear.
Yeah.
So that's stupid in the first place because she had the bloody thing. It's even worse, right?
But you could peg that down to I don't think she really knew Doomsday was coming.
Yes. Let's forget that. Let's
That
just
was
say
like a curveball. See, Lex screwed her over. He just didn't do anyone else.
why not just have her get the spear herself? Even if she throws it in there, why not let her do that? Why not let her grab the thing and then give it to Superman? Give her something to do. Instead of continually being saved again.
They're meant to be champion and smart, independent women, like with Wonder Woman. You know what I mean, like intellectual, strong women. And then you have Lois Lane, who's pretty much adhering to every kind of comic book stereotype. I think
Right.
it's a backward step.
And that way she can contribute. Yeah, she can't get in the fight, and no one wants to see that, but she can at least be a helping hand.
Exactly,
Instead,
like Alfred is to
right.
Batman.
Yeah, and instead, Superman has to stop his fight and go down there to save her.
Exactly. It's meant to be like, you know, instead of having like a strong male lead and then like a female lead that detracts from that, why can't they both be like as effective as each other? You know what I mean? Champion like the kind of hand-in-hand relationship thing where he's not having to stop every couple seconds. Another thing that was stupid was his perception as well. He's like, he's so distracted he couldn't clock the bomb in City Hall, and then like all of a sudden he's stopping because he can superhero whacking on the thing. I mean, you could have had him notice the bomb, go to get it, and then it stopped. I mean, it wouldn't matter because there's no cameras in City Hall, and obviously all the other witnesses are dead. All anyone else knows is that like City Hall just blew up, or Capitol Hill, whatever way you want to put it. I think it was Capitol Hill. So I mean, why make because Superman just came off kind of like sloppy, like half cut, like not paying attention. I think that was kind of their attempt to be like, I was so beleaguered by the public opinion of him that is like completely distracted, is so focused on clearing his name that is not paying attention to the fact there's clearly a bomb. Oh, I didn't notice it because it was encased in lead. Come on, like he's not going to walk in there and scan the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But even was it Helen Hunt who played?
No, she was pointless.
Yeah.
You could have just had anyone to cover that. I think Zack Snyder was like, oh, I've always wanted to work with her. It's like, dude, come on. Anyone could have done that role. I mean, she was just pointless. really. She's had a back and forth with Lex Luthor. Okay, she kind of came off a little strong, you know what I mean? It's like head on her shoulders. And then, like, it was just like, oh, we're going to kill you anyway, so forget it. I mean, the assistant as well, Lex Luthor's assistant. See,
Oh, that's-
I kind of liked her. I thought she was alright, and then obviously she got blew up too, but I think it would have been too suspicious if she didn't get blown up. But I mean, it's just like whatever. They both could have been late. So I mean, um, what else did I think? I thought the kind of fight and action sequences were pretty good. I mean, I liked one thing I did like. Okay, they didn't really go into much kind of what's happened over the last 20 years in Gotham, but I can see how it's turned him a bit, giving him a short fuse. You know what I mean?
What's
So,
that?
yeah, I kind of liked his brutality though. I liked him smacking people around, but I
That
mean
was
there was a few obvious cases where he killed. Now, where are they going to go with that? Is it going to come in like Justice League and be like, oh yeah, because of kind of stuff that's happened, I've warmed up a bit, so I'm not going to kill people? Or is he just going to be like, is he going to kill people?
Once you've crossed that line, you can't cross back.
Exactly. I think they've completely contradicted his character by having him. See, are they just going to come out and just be like, oh yeah, all those people, he didn't actually kill people. He just smacked a guy with with a 300-pound wooden box straight in the head and smacked his head against the wall, but he's not dead.
He's killed people.
Yeah,
I think a problem. Batman. Batman has killed in movies before. He killed in Batman '89. Killed in Batman Returns. Technically, he didn't, but I think he pretty much killed Two-Face in Batman Forever.
yeah,
Batman and Robin didn't kill anyone. Batman Begins, who lets Ra's al Ghul die, in my opinion, that's pretty much killing him.
exactly.
Dark Knight, he kills Two-Face again. So, him killing in movies isn't unprecedented, but a problem you've created for yourself now is you have an extended universe where characters are going to recur and characters are going to come back. And if that's the case, if you have a Batman who's going to kill, what excuse is there for him not to kill the Joker?
Exactly.
Why would you not kill the Joker? That's always been their dynamic in the comics. Even when you take the Dark Knight Returns, where he snaps his neck, but he stops from killing him. Because that's always their dynamic. If he crosses, then what's to stop him from doing it with everyone?
See, if he's gonna go around in the Batmobile and blow up two-bit thugs, you know
Right.
what I mean? He might as well. Maybe they're gonna put him in a position where he never actually does it. Not like an obvious position like gun to the head or something like that, but like maybe he's never actually got a chance to actually lay the finishing blow.
That's you're writing yourself into a corner in that way, aren't you? It's something that didn't ring true in Suicide Squad, where he has that cameo with on the car with the Joker and Harley, right?
Yeah,
Why would he bother saving? If he's a murdering Batman, why is he bothering saving Harley? Go get the Joker.
exactly. I think the Joker just vanished into thin air. I didn't even see how he got away that quick. Maybe it was just like Harley Quinn as like a distraction, but I think because the whole tagline for Justice League is that because Superman died at the end of Dawn of Justice, he's got a renewed faith in humanity. So does that mean he's not going to kill? Is he just going to come out openly and be like, I'm not going to kill anymore? But
Yeah, he probably will. But my point being, that kind of newfound "oh, I'm not going to kill anyone" stance doesn't hold up when you're dealing with a psychotic killer clown who's murdering people after people, and you put him in an asylum and he breaks back out and he keeps murdering and murdering. If you killed Johnny Come Nobody for no reason because he got in the way of your bloody car, why aren't you going to kill him?
and that's kind of a lot of killing as well, because it's not like he killed one person and it's ambiguous, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of accessory to it, like with Two-Face, because I mean, you could put him down to be an accessory, you know? He pretty much died, but, you know, you didn't pull the trigger, you know what I mean? Whereas there, it was pretty obvious, and it was a lot of people. I mean, you could clock up what easily double figures people he clearly blew up and killed, because
Yeah.
if the car thing wasn't enough in the Batmobile, where he was blowing cars up and running them over and stuff like that, is when he gets in the Batwing as well, when he's going to that building and is like flying across and is like shooting him with his gun and blowing up all them cars as well, and then he actually gets into the building, and that grenade, I think the kind of grenade thing was the only ambiguous thing, because that was kind of the thug's own fault, you know what I mean? But everything else, it was just clear, like dead.
The guy he kills at the end, well, not at the end, the guy he kills in that thing to save Martha.
And KGB Beast.
Was that the KGBs?
Yeah.
That I don't really like Batman killing people, but that, okay, I can stomach, because he didn't have a choice. Martha was going to die if he didn't kill the KGBs.
And you could bring emotion into that as well. He didn't want to see another Martha die.
It's the same with it's the same with the Dark Knight when he kills Two-Face. Even though, I'll be honest, for the first 3 years between that and the Dark Knight Returns or Rises, I thought Two-Face was probably still alive, but that wasn't the case. Fine, he killed Two-Face to save James Gordon Jr.
Yeah.
That I can stomach, but just randomly murdering people like he was in this movie.
And he was kind of visibly shocked by that as well, because I figured that was the thing that kind of knocked him into retirement.
Yeah.
So I mean, there was kind of no emotion this time after double figure kills. I think they kind of tried to market it as him being kind of literally at the end of his tether, you know what I mean? Whereas he said like criminals are like weeds, where they just pop up whenever you pull another two pop up when you pull up one. So I mean, I think that's literally Batman. I think they're gonna try and kind of retcon it all with his restored faith in humanity, that maybe is going to come off a bit warmer now. But I mean, after seeing that, you know,
you can't wipe out. And I don't mind a brutal Batman. I'm all for I'll break people in half as long as they live. You know, he's not the Punisher though.
Is meant to be kind of, is kind of like the Joker. You're going to be scared of the Batman if you know all he's going to do is just whack you in jail, you know what I mean? If you're seeing people getting blown up and that, and you're getting arms broken and smashed through walls, see, that's like proper fear. I think they tried to literally make him as like literally top of his game, no messing about, no prisoners, boom. It's like if you're gonna carry on and commit crime even after the example I've set, then I'm not going to pull no punches, you know what I mean? You're going through that wall if you mess about. So I mean, that's something I think, obviously, some people might be like, oh, it's a bit too brutal, you know what I mean? But I think that was kind of good.
Yeah, me too. That's cool.
Because I think that's, if you're going to have a Batman at the end of his tether, like very experienced veteran, 20 years in Gotham, and you're literally just sick to death of kind of criminals taking the piss, you're just going to be like, right, that's it. If I get hold of you, it's not going to be worth. See, some people, I think most people had a problem with the kind of Bat brand. It's like, if you brand it by the Bat, see, that should kind of be like a kind of trophy thing. It's like, I'm so important that the Batman come after me and branded me, as opposed to, oh, you got branded by the Bat, I'm gonna stab you up. But I think most people just assume that was because they talked, but it's like, if you talked, why would he brand you? You talk to get out of a brand, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the brand thing was a bit messy. Also, I think, again, the two cuts in the movie are confusing me, but I think in the theatrical cut, they play it as if the branding is Batman giving people a death sentence, when in the extended edition you find out, I think, that's part of Lex Luthor's plan as well, that everyone Batman brands, he's having killed.
That's a good one. See, I don't think I remember much of that, but I mean, if that is, then that,
I'm pretty sure that's in the extended cut, or maybe I'll make it up, but I think it is.
if you made it up, you want to mail that to Zack Snyder because that's a
Yeah.
damn good idea. So what else is it? The plot was pretty messy. The editing was pretty messy. Lois Lane was a bit. I mean, I think what was good was the. I like the kind of cameos by Aquaman, Flash, and Wonder Woman. I thought they were good on the computer.
Flash was alright. Aquaman I thought was a bit weird. Seemed to pop out of the water and put a weird face. The Cyborg one was stupid.
I think that was just kind of because I mean, see, that would have worked better with the extended cut as well, because then people would have been like, "Oh, I swear I've seen that boxy thing before," you know what I mean? Because obviously it was a mother box that brought Cyborg back, but I think that was kind of leveraging for Star Labs as well. That was just like another kind of extra Easter egg for Star Labs. So I mean, as I said, the fighting was good. The last fight with Doomsday was good.
I thought I liked the Batman and Superman fight up until the Martha thing. I thought that was good.
Yeah.
The fight with Doomsday was okay. I thought Wonder Woman was pretty cool in that.
Yeah.
I liked her theme song. That was cool.
Yeah. See, the scores were good. The Lex Luthor score was good as well, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of operatic, kind of like, yeah, high society, if you know what I mean.
I mean, yeah, it fit his character. I particularly like his character, but you know, whatever.
I think for what it was, there should have been a couple more Easter eggs. I think just to lay groundwork. But apart from that, I really don't think it kind of deserved. I think the problem was, if they released the extended cut as the film, I think it would have got much better ratings. See, that's kind of. See, I thought what they did with Suicide Squad, because their extended cut was only like an extra 10 minutes, and it really didn't add anything to the story. You know what I mean? I think it was just stuff they kind of cut last minute, and they thought we'd put it back in. But I think the cut stuff from Batman vs Superman was pretty like integral. And if they just released that as it was, it would have made for a much better film.
It was integral. I still think the extended cut of the movie has problems. I don't think it's great, but I would say it's pretty good.
I don't.
But the actual cut is a mess.
I don't know about the Jimmy Olsen thing as well. It's like, why bring Jimmy Olsen in just to kill him 5 seconds in? It's like, don't even bring Jimmy Olsen into it. It's like, that could have been any kind of reporter. That could have just been Lois Lane's assistant, but like they marketed as Lois Lane.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't see the point. They just don't want to use Jimmy, but I guess they had a character and they figured, oh hell, let's name him Jimmy. Why not?
Exactly. It's like they could have just not bothered with him. So I mean, I think they put it at such a timeline that it's kind of so far ahead with Batman being about. I figure like anyone they kind of don't think is going to kind of fit that model, they're just going to bring him for 2 seconds and kill him off. So I mean, I think that's a bit pointless. Just don't bring him in at all.
That's bizarre as well. Gotham and Metropolis being across the river from each other. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Superman know who Batman is? If he's been around for 20 years, he's Superman who's lived that close to him. How could he not know who he is?
Exactly. I think, yeah, I didn't like the positioning either, because it's like if there's a problem that they're in two different cities, it's like, yo, you got to bear in mind that Lex Luthor sent Superman after Batman, so it's like, it's not like he sent Batman after Superman and Batman had to trek across the country. It's like Superman could just fly there, you know what I mean? So the kind of travel distance between the two cities shouldn't have been an issue.
Surely Superman at some point has seen the bat signal.
Yeah, exactly.
Does he not wonder what the hell that is?
Maybe he was too busy. I think he was too busy in hiding, because I think because what was kind of his purpose before that, because you got to think he became Superman, and then within literally a couple months, like maybe a week after he become properly Superman, got his suit, that Zod came and got him, and then literally right after Zod, obviously, he got wrapped it up with the Batman. So what you're trying to say is, like, in between his downtime, he didn't find out that the Batman was Bruce Wayne. Because, I mean, he was in hiding, wasn't he?
Not even in his downtime. Batman's been Batman for 20 years.
I don't think...
How does he not know who he is?
I think... Well, he did, because...
It's a dude running around in Gotham in a bat costume, fighting a crazy clown, among other people. If you're Superman, even if you're a little kid, are you not thinking, maybe I should go check that out?
I don't know. I think they kind of wrote it in Man of Steel, where he's kind of in exile for like straight after Jonathan Kent died. I think he exiled himself. Then he comes back. Then he has the trouble with Zod, and then he ends up in this. So I think they're pacing in terms of the storyline. I think they've wasted, like, there's a lot of kind of empty space between time periods. It's like you got Superman, then nothing happens for 20 years, and then all of a sudden everything happens at once, but we're not going to explain how other things have happened to other people over that period of time. There's just Batman was in exile. No, not Batman. Superman was in exile, and while he's been in exile, Batman's been doing his thing, but no one's been...
So Batman's been doing his thing for... Yeah, Superman wasn't in exile for 20 years... Think about it. I mean, look, he was in school.
I think that's how they wrote it. That he went to school.
It can't be. He's not that old, is he? It's Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill would make him pushing 40. He's about 35. I suppose, yeah, that makes sense. But
I think I think the pacing and lack of explanation is kind of hard to pinpoint or even ask some questions.
That's just crazy. It's legitimately crazy. There's no way he can be that close to Gotham and grow up. He would have been in small or high, seeing a bat signal, hearing about this crazy Batman, and apparently never knowing about him.
See, you don't really know enough about Superman in those years to kind of be like, what was he doing? See, logically, you'd think they would have crossed paths at some point, maybe before Clark Kent was Superman, but they've never really explained it, and I don't think they are going to explain it. They're not really going to do flashbacks, are they? And if they were going to do flashbacks, they should have done it in this film.
I don't need him to do flashbacks. I don't need him to have met. It's just the fact that he does not know that there's a Batman is crazy.
So you think that the writers have shot themselves in the foot by putting Metropolis in. Maybe Smallville's like miles away. maybe if Smallville's on the other time of the country. I don't know. I think
that's a major foothold.
Exactly. And I think we've covered a lot of points, and I think we'll wrap it up for this episode. So we'll see you in another episode. I've been Sam.
I'm Matt.
And we'll see you next time for more superhero up foul discussion. I think I just showed 5 fingers.